Welcome back to the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45. We got Reese from Attack Yama in the building, the real Louis Ortega, the numbers guy, TJ with two wheels and coffee. What's going on, fellas? How you doing, TJ? Your audio, bro.
Hanging in there. Just enjoyed last weekend. Audio's messed up. Hear me?
We got you now. You're kind of
Hello?
laggy though.
Uh, okay. Well, no, we had a good weekend of racing. So was fortunate to watch that. Can't complain otherwise. I was just flipping back and forth between Moto America and MotoGP. So that's pretty much sums up my weekend.
All right, man. Well, Austin and Mazana is not the same time zone, man. We're gonna have to get you another clock to make sure you can watch your separate times. I mean, I guess I don't know what time Lewis gets up, but I'm usually up like
Early.
I'm watching it live generally. That's just me, man. What's going on, Reese, man? How you doing, man? And we'll find out how your weekend went from your perspective, from where I'm sitting. Look like you kind of call it where it was. I don't know if you guys could have expected a better outcome, but how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Just burnt out from the weekend. Just long weekend, hot as hell, but it's still good. Ready for the last round, ready for the last battle, like I called it.
That's what's up, man. We're looking forward to it. Some good racing down in Austin this past weekend. What's going on, Lewis, man? How things? I see you got big time on your chest.
Yeah. Shout out to my boy Felipe and Jeremiah from Big Time on YouTube. These guys have been super great to me for the last couple of years. I've been working with them, and we're always swapping swag. So I send them some gear, they send me some gear. But they got an amazing channel. They're the ones that have been doing like this MotoGP series, Road to MotoGP. So really good stuff, cool guys. And on the racing front, great weekend, man. Can't wait to talk about it. Lots of crazy excitement in the U.S. and overseas. So definitely going to be a good show.
All right, man. That's what's up. We're gonna jump into it. We're gonna start with Moto America because I know Reese might have to tap out at some point because he doesn't stop working.
Hey, man, somebody's got to make the money.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man. I'll text you my address when I'm done. Yeah, a few things might need to get taken care of. But let's talk about it. TJ Motor America. You heard Reese from the past 3 rounds talking about what to expect. What are your thoughts on what you saw this weekend?
I mean, it was good to see, the young kids go out there, the Talent Cup. And it was good to see the Stock 1000. I think it's their last race of the year. And it was good to see like every manufacturer be good at one part of the track. For instance, just watching like a Honda go down the back straight next to a Ducati, just seeing what it can do and how it can keep up on the other parts of the track. So, and then, the main race is where, what we're looking forward to. And it was interesting to see, how Josh Henry could pull out that first race for all the hiccups that was going on that first race that happened. But overall, race 1 and race 2 were pretty good. It was good to see Bobby, the Yamahas to stay up in there, Bobby Fawn to get on the podium and stay in contention, didn't lose everything. So
There you go. It's called, they're called painkillers for a reason, man. They get you through a lot. Trust me. When I lost my spleen, man, it was nice to have some painkillers to be able to rest. So, I think he had it figured out, Josh. What are your thoughts, Lewis? We see that they announced that we're going to have another Ducati and Superbike in Motor America next year with PJ. You excited for that?
I mean, I'm always excited when the grid fills up with more bikes. I've always said I like the stock 1000 class because it keeps the prices of going racing a little bit more manageable. I mean, it's still expensive. Anybody thinks that to be competitive on a stock 1000, you can do it for like less than 250 grand, you're out of your mind. Like if you want to do every single round, like you're going to spend some money, but at least the stock 1000 class gave a lot more riders the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope that the way that the rules work out next year to combine the stock 1000 and Superbike, there's enough concessions where the stock 1000s won't just be there to fill the grid, but can be competitive. I mean, I expect, the same players to be at the front just because of the equipment and the talent level.
Mhm.
But I want to see an opportunity where a guy that, an unexpected talent can kind of rise up and be that, hair in the ointment or something like that, So I'm hoping it happens next year. I'm hoping that it's really competitive. I want to see Ducatis there. I want to see Hondas there. I want to see, Suzuki's there. I mean, there's Suzuki's now, but I want to see the grid to fill up more. The saddest thing that I saw this weekend was the bagger race. I saw 6 guys lining up to race.
Yeah.
That means you have a 50% chance of being on the podium if you just don't crash and somebody else does. Like, as much as that's a fun race, that shit sucks, man. I don't want to see 6 bikes lining up, man. Like, if you don't have at least 12 bikes on the grid, like, why even line up? Like, it's crazy. Everybody finishes in the points. I understand why it's happening, but that grid needs to get bigger. If we're going to go international with bagger racing with Harley Davidson, that grid needs to get bigger here in the US. We can't show up in Spain or in Portugal with 6 bikes, man. That looks pathetic.
You said you know what happened, so can you enlighten us? Because I was wondering the same thing. And from my perspective, I just assumed the championship was over, and some people said they didn't want to spend any more money for the last 2 rounds. I don't know if they're going to be at Jersey or not. But
no, that's 100% what happened. People are like, "Oh, you know what? This championship's over. I'm not going to spend the money to haul all my equipment to Texas. Haul my guys to Texas when there's no chance of me winning or something like that." Like this grid. And I hate to say it, I don't think the grid's going to be any bigger for New Jersey because, again, if I'm based out of California, why am I going to drive across the country to finish outside the points, not have a championship, not really make any money? Like, that grid's got to get filled up, and we got to see some new faces on that grid too. It can't be the usual suspects every single weekend. Like, it's not fair, and at a certain point it's going to lose its novelty, and if there's no competition there, then it's going to lose its interest. I don't want to see the same. If I had to watch the same 2 football teams play each other every weekend for the entire NFL season, dude, I'm checking out after like the second game.
Right. No, definitely. There's some other sports we could talk about that's like that. But let's get to Reese, man. Let's talk about the weekend from your perspective, Yamaha perspective. I mean, you guys got to feel pretty good. I assume the T-shirts are already made and ready, like the Ducati and MotoGP, to bring it over to Motegi.
Nah, shirts aren't printed just yet. I mean, it could go any way, but I mean, we go on there with positive attitude. I mean, Bobby, I think he was I know one race he was second last year at Jersey, and I think he podiumed. I think he podiumed both times. But we're going there with a positive attitude. Like I said before, we came in there knowing that this is one of their tracks, like Ducati and BMW, where they can exploit all their power. So, I mean, to come out with a second and third place, I mean, that's really great. To take a second and third and almost have a win in race 2, almost had it. So we'll take that. I mean, it was a good weekend. Both riders came home. No major crashes, no major nothing. So we'll take that positive win, head on to the next round, and get ready for a weird battle.
Right. Were you guys surprised at how close it was? That those guys didn't really run away?
Yes and no. I mean, we was hoping that we'd be close, stay in their draft. And I mean, we knew that on the back straightaway, especially that long back straightaway, we knew that they had the power to pull away. And if you watch, I mean, that's where Cameron kind of sucked up on Bobby and got the pass. So we knew that was happening, but we stayed right there with him. If you watch, Bobby was one of the fastest guys coming through the S's, where he would almost run up in the back of them.
Mm-hmm.
So he passed him.
Yeah. Did you guys give Jake a hard time when he had that low side and crashed out, and Cam, had a low side and saved it?
No, he give him a hard time. I was just happy we wasn't there. I mean, it was nice not to be there late night, so it wasn't that bad of a bad crash. It was kind of easy night. Like, all right, we get out of here early, so that was kind of peaceful. Low side, he saved it real good, so it was fun.
No. It was fun to watch. TJ, man, let's dive into a little bit more watching the races and stuff like that. I know Josh is your boy, and he seemed to struggle a little bit more on Sunday. How do you feel about that and how it turned out?
Sorry, I'm having a little connection issues. So you say it one more time about Sunday?
Saturday, Sunday, talk about Josh a little bit, because I know he's your boy. I'm a Ducati guy, so I like how it turned out, but
I mean, Sunday, we wanted to see, Josh pull it off if he could, but obviously it'll be a little different. And I don't know, the approach is a lot different, it seemed like, but he couldn't pull it out. He did get a podium, but it was good to see Bobby Fogg actually fight with Ken Bobier for that last race. That was pretty cool. Bobby Fogg definitely gave it his all. Definitely wanted to see him win, but that BMW just had too much down the back straight, just like reset a few weeks back, how strong they would be down there. But it's going to be a big fight going into Jersey, but I think Sunday was a good race.
Yeah, no doubt. I see you got the Suzuki hat. I figured you'd have a Yamaha hat tonight because, those Suzuki, they were trying, man. But
I'll switch it up.
they were trying, but I feel bad for with Richie Escalante. Was it Escalante that he crashed on the last lap?
SDK been doing good. So, but SDS, I'm not sure if he crashed on the last lap. Did he?
On what, race 1 or race 2?
Race 2. I thought it was a race 2. He crashed on. Was it race 1? My memory serves correctly. Felt like
race.
He had mechanical.
Well, yeah, something like that. From what I hear, I think he ran out of fuel.
Oh, that's mechanical. It's not KTM mechanical, but it's mechanical.
That's what is that, a 2008 bike? That's pretty good for an old bike to be competing with these new bikes. I would.
It's a 13. No, it's a 16. 16.
There you go. It's only 9 years old.
It's only 10 years old.
But I got to say, the 50th anniversary color looked pretty good, though. What are your thoughts on that, Louis?
The bike came out when it was the 40th anniversary color.
I hate it.
They had that paint job on that bike twice in one lifetime. I love Suzuki, man.
I saw your story, man. So
it's rough, man. It's rough out there for Suzuki. No, it looked good.
Somebody got arrested,
It looked good, man. I just wish that, I wait to see what Suzuki's doing next year. They've kind of put a little bit of a press push behind the new GSXR 1000.
No, they're doing it's all winglets.
You got to start somewhere, man. Honda did nothing but winglets, and look where they are now in MotoGP.
I ain't got no more Red Bull, but they got wings.
Crashing out of 18th.
And got Red Bull, got their wings.
No, but I hope Suzuki does a little bit better next year. They got talented riders, man. SDK is a talented rider. Escalante is a talented rider. Their entire team, the Super Sport team, talented riders. It's just, they're just that 1.5 step behind the guys at the front, technology-wise, motor-wise, just everything. You can do a lot with a stock motor and make it a superbike motor and do all the things you could do. But at the end of the day, if you don't have that little extra help from the factory, if you don't have newer chassis or a newer motor you can build off of, you're always limited to the tools that you have to work with. I feel bad for Suzuki, man. Hurts my heart a little bit.
just
not me. Not me.
They'll be back.
They'll be back.
All right. Well, let's jump into MotoGP and talk about that because that was also happening this weekend and pretty crazy all around. I mean, let's talk about the qualifying sessions. I'll say Bagnaia was looking good in qualifying. Being in the top seven. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say I can't say I expected more, but it was a home track for him, so you thought it would have been a little bit better. But what you guys
crashed out.
Yeah, until he crashed out. What do you guys think about that? And what Bezzecchi did? Because it seems like Bezzecchi's the only guy that's gonna I don't want to say push Mark, but at least make Mark look back a little bit or look up. What are your thoughts, TJ?
Sorry, connection.
You back? You back? Not back? All right, we'll
Sorry,
move.
guys, I'm out. Connection.
All right, we'll move to Reese until you get it sorted out. I don't know if you had a chance to watch much Moto GP while you were at Coda this past weekend, man. But what are your thoughts about qualifying and how those guys did?
No, I did watch it. I mean, getting up early and watching it, but I mean, it was nice. I mean, it was different. I mean, I think like you're right. I think Bezzecchi is the only one that's going to keep Mark, as you want to call it, honest and keep him out there. I think he's the actual one. Him and maybe his brother, but I mean, it was good. It was a good qualifying race. Qualifying, it was a great sprint race. I was kind of sad to see Mark crash out, but actually, no matter how much I hated the guy at one point, I'm kind of rooting for him after that surgery, what he had. Just take it all.
Yeah, I agree there. I won't say I'm rooting for him, but I respect what he's doing, and you see it. And you can't deny the caliber rider he is and stuff like that. I'm not really mad at Mark. I'm mad at that Ducati signed him. That's all. Mark had nothing to do. I mean, obviously he got signed, but like Ducati, they didn't need to sign him to win another championship.
Why? Why did you need to sign him? You got to sign the best.
Right, there's a long list of reasons why.
Who's out there that's going to beat that man?
But the thing is, though, I mean, you think about it, right? If you know you're going to win a championship with the riders you already got, why spend more money?
Because you can make more money.
Right, I can make more money.
Yeah.
Well, that's not. We'll find out at the end of the year, see what sales are like, right?
I mean, sales is just one part of the equation. The win it on Sunday, buy it on Monday kind of philosophy doesn't always work.
Right.
But, how many times can a team sign somebody like a Michael Jordan to their team? The Wizards sucked when Michael Jordan went there, but they still have Michael Jordan. They still sold more tickets. They still sold more jerseys. They still sold more popcorn and vending everywhere they went. Like they could ask for more because they had a bigger package, a more talented package to display. Mm-hmm. So,
right.
Sometimes you got to look at it that way. I can sign Jorge Martin. Even if he didn't get hurt, I could sign Jorge Martin, or I can sign a 7-time world champion that automatically comes with a ton of fans and a ton of haters, and the haters will pay to hate on him. Like I love the meme every time that Marquez goes and races in Italy. That can you imagine paying $300 as an Italian to go boo Marc Marquez? Like that's it. Thousands of people are paying $300 to boo Marc Marquez. And at the end of the day, Marc is like, yo, I still get paid. You guys are helping pay for me to be here to make you feel bad. So, and if you looked this past weekend, Ducati used Marc to launch the new RS models. They had the Deolali and they had the Multistrada. They did a whole marketing campaign. So again, you got this instant swag by having somebody like that. Why do people sign LeBron James even though he doesn't win championships and flops? Because he's LeBron James. He's gonna get people into your audience. He's gonna bring people to your stadium. At least with Marquez, you got a 7-time world champion that's proven that he can go out there and ride. Not Mr. Flopopolis that's gonna.
I hear that they're building a bike too. They're building them a replica
on the bench.
Yeah, I heard that too. But he qualified 4th. Bagnaia qualified 8th. Do you think that? I put this all you guys. Hopefully you're also with audio, TJ.
Exactly.
Do you think that what Bezzecchi and Martin did to get Bezzecchi on pole? Do you think rider teams should do that more often? Punch a hole in front of the faster rider so they can get the few tenths to get on it? Because I don't know if Bezzecchi would have got that if Martin didn't punch that hole on the straight.
I mean, I think help each other to try to get a better position. But dude, I don't know. It was I think it just Martin just happened to be there.
Oh no, they planned
But
it.
it definitely
They
helped
planned that.
Zeki get that pole position for sure. But I definitely do think that teams should help each other instead of like Mark used to do, chase behind a rider um, just to get himself a better position. So, but that fight is also good. It keeps everything competitive. But
Right.
it was pretty cool to see Bezecchi get up there and get the pole position.
I mean,
Nice. What are
why
your
not?
Good
thoughts?
for my team.
What are your thoughts, Reese? You think you guys might do that in Jersey?
I don't know if we'll do it in Jersey, but I mean, why not? Why not have a rider punch a hole through it if you got, you can follow? And I mean, sometimes it's not even team orders. It's just the two guys will get out there and they'll get behind each other and they'll actually just do it. But hey, I'm gonna punch a hole for you. Come on, let's go. So it could be that. But I mean, why not? You still want to win the constructor title or something like that. But I mean, it can't right now because Gotti. But why not try to put a slowdown to Marquez's reign or get ready for the upcoming year? Why not?
And you're right, because Bezzecchi helped Martin get into Q2. So what are your thoughts, Lewis, on that?
I mean, I don't. Again, I tend to agree with Reese. I don't think it was necessarily team orders. Maybe the two riders spoke about it ahead of time. Hey, if we catch each other on the track, let's try to help each other. Either tow me or punch a hole in the air for me or something like that. It's qualifying. It's not the race. So, but if you look at the time of the race, I don't. I think Bezzecchi would have still been on the front row regardless of whether or not Martin helped him. I think Martin just gave him a couple more tenths that got him right to the pole position. But Bezzecchi was still the fastest guy outside of Marc Marquez the whole weekend. And even Alex, he had his flash of brilliance. But again, that one lap speed, that doesn't mean you're going to be consistent over the length of the race. Who gridded up in third place as the third fastest guy? The guy who dropped like a fucking anchor once the race started, Mr. Yamaha. Why? Because you can't run your fastest lap of the race for 27 laps. That's physically impossible. You can stay within a certain range, like of a half a second, 31.3, 31.6, 31.2, 30. You can do that, but you can't run 30 flats for 27. Your tires won't make it. You won't make it. I mean, even at the end of this race, you saw Bezzecchi get off the bike. My man was like, yo, I'm done. I'm cooked. Like I gave it all. Like the dude looked like he was ready to pass out. Like his eyes were sunk in. He was so cooked.
So let me ask this: what's the deal with Fabio and the pearls?
I don't know, man. I can't. I don't know. Maybe they're his lucky pearls, like.
I mean, I was just like, what is he doing? But maybe, he's getting closer to God or something like that, who knows? Because I think that's the first time I've seen a rider rock the pearl necklace. Like that. But let's talk about Marquez's crash. These guys, you talk about being able to do, qualifying times one lap. Him and Bezzecchi were both doing close to qualifying times in the sprint race, in the 130s. When he passed Bez, I before he crashed, I felt like he was going to crash because like they were on the limit, and I didn't think he needed to push the limit, fighting for the championship. Wanting to stay healthy to finish the next 5 rounds? I think we have left 5 or 6 rounds left. 5 rounds left. Do you think that was too much, pushing a little bit too much for Mark?
For me or TJ?
TJ, you with us?
Sorry. Can you go, Lewis? Yes, connection issues. Sorry, I don't know why I'm breaking up.
Yeah, man, you got some serious connection issues, man. Nah, just saying, talking about the crash with Marquez
Today is not too.
in the sprint race, and pushing close to qualifying times for a couple of laps. Him and Bezecchi. Do you think it was like a little bit much? He probably should have just chilled a little bit. We'll throw it over to Lewis, man.
I don't think. Again, man, anytime you put your helmet on, you want to be the best, man. Sprint race, practice, qualifying. I don't think Mark needed to do what he did as far as pass him and try to quickly push away.
Mm-hmm.
I think the pace that they were setting, they were going to separate themselves from the guy in third place regardless. I think they would definitely put some distance. I think Mark should have just let him do the donkey work. Let him be out front. Let him do all the hard pushing. I mean, let him be the one to win it or bet. And if you get the opportunity, when you get the opportunity with a couple laps left, I don't think Mark has a lack of speed as the tire grip goes down. It seems he gets more speed. I mean, him and Bezecchi were trading fastest laps of the race on lap 25, 26, and 27.
I know. Pretty crazy, right?
That's crazy. That's like, so again, in the sprint race, which is half the distance, you're going to tell me that he's not going to have tire come lap 13?
Come on. You're thinking these guys are like, man, I could have pushed harder then because they had so much grip at the end?
Yeah. I mean, the sprint race, I would have, honestly, man, with the low fuel load, as early as they get the low fuel load in the sprint race, with tires that are still as fresh as they are, I mean, they could have probably set lap records, in lap 12, 13, and 14, 15, and 16 of the sprint race. So I think Mark just kind of, again, and he said it himself, it's a mental lapse. I got a little bit too overexcited. I started, thinking that something that I shouldn't have been thinking, and just that one little lapse of concentration, and that's it, I crashed. But he redeemed himself on Sunday where the points are even bigger. And he didn't make the same mistake. And if you've watched Mark throughout the years, that's kind of his MO. He crashes in practice to find the limit, and then he tries to avoid that same mistake during the race. And this time he just, it kind of bit him a little bit. He should have just waited, I think, a little bit more. But again, it's I've always told you, don't deny that half-second home track advantage. Like Bezecchi, when you are in front, and I was thinking about this, man, when your family shows up, when your friends are there, when everybody is there, when you see the colors of your flag flying all over the place, trust me, man, you find that extra half second. You find that extra little motivation to like go a little faster. And Bez this weekend did an amazing job just doing that. And I think, again, this goes back to Mark, wanting to maybe annoy some fans that love to cheer when he crashes. He got them back on Sunday. You guys booed me or cheered when I crashed yesterday. Well, cry your tears today, man. Listen to the Spanish anthem right now. Cool. Thank you. Pay $300 to come listen to the Spanish anthem.
No
Thank
doubt.
you, Italy.
he gave them a Messi at the end of the race on Sunday.
That's harsh.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Aprilia. Do you think? I mean, we talked about this early on when Bez won. Is it safe to say Martin is the number 2 rider now? I mean, I think it'd be hard to. But he has to win a bunch of races before the pendulum switch.
I mean, he's been the number 2 rider. He's been the number 2 rider. I don't think he ever was a number 1 rider, being honest. I mean, he's just the number 1 plate, not the number 1 rider. So, I mean, then when you left and you did all your antics and nonsense of BS, it was like, all right, we're going to, it's like, and Bez is there dealing with it, and you kind of left your teammate high and dry on like development or anything else like that. Yeah, I mean, it's safe to consider you're the number 2 guy. You're not the number 1 guy. We don't need you as the number 1.
What are your thoughts, Lewis?
I think he's the number 3 guy.
Damn.
Right. They might sign Oliveira as a test rider, so you might be right.
Did they say that? Well, at least if he's test riding, nobody can crash into him. So He'll
Well, he
finish
might be going to.
he'll finish the testing sessions at least.
He might be going to BMW too over in World Superbike.
Yeah, he might be going there. So we'll see.
That's what he said. He says he wants to race, so it doesn't sound like he wants to be a test rider yet.
He could stay again. I think he'll do well in Superbike. I mean, nobody hits anybody there, so he should be fine. But on the team, definitely Martin is the second rider. You know, Bez has kind of taken this opportunity and really made the most of it. It was handed to him very early in the season because early in the season, he knew he went into that team as the number 2 rider.
Right.
You know, hey, they signed the reigning world champion. He's literally going to have the number 1 plate on his bike. You know, I'm just going to have to put my head down, put in the works, and see what I can do to just carry my weight. And then, you know, Martin got hurt, and then the whole controversy. And even throughout all that, man, you know, Bez just put his head down and kept riding, rode through the problems, you know, finishing outside the top 10, doing everything he can do to get the bike to where it needs to be and just chipping away. And look at him now, man. You know, the dude is flying. I mean, he's really making the Aprilia look like it is a direct competitor to the Ducati. Like there's nothing really separating the two bikes right now, which is amazing.
And he lost his wings.
And he lost a wing. You know, he did it with a half a wing, so instability in the front end. But that might be a good thing. You know what? Cut that wing away. We went faster without it.
We don't need those wings no more. Shoot.
Yeah, on the heavy right-hand tracks, we cut the left wing off, and on the heavy left-hand tracks, we cut the right wing off, and we're good.
Yeah, that bike got too many wings. Just too many. TJ, you back with us? What are your thoughts of Aprilia and you know, number 2 rider Martin?
See now where y'all going. Yeah, I think I'm back with the connection. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. Everything was just static. But to me, yeah, Bez is definitely looking like the number 1 rider right now. I mean, the way Martin ended this year and going to Aprilia, it just didn't start with the right foot. But he's gonna have to take lead from Bez. I mean, he has his front foot forward. Like I said, he's been underdog. I've been rooting for him as well this year, and he's been proving himself since the beginning of middle of the season, for that matter. So it's for him to just prove that he can still hang with Mark. I thought it was just excellent data for himself to have pace with Mark for about 15 laps. You know, just to keep pace, knowing that he has the confidence to get better than what he is at now. And even though he came in second, so I think it was a win overall for Bezzecchi for this weekend. And I think it was probably one of his best race weekends, if not probably the best, as far as himself getting data personally, and the bike getting data, and you know, him doing better than Martin right now. So
right.
But yeah, on the tire and all that stuff that fell off, I don't know what's going on. And I don't know if that was just cool one side of the tire, it just didn't last. But it's an interesting part that they put on the bike.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just one too many wings. For sure. Let's talk about the other Ducatis, the Gin Antonio. I mean, Morbidelli, Fermin Aldeguer, Alex Marquez. You know, what are your thoughts on what they're doing? They look pretty good in the sprint. You know, second, third, fourth. For those guys, do you think that you know, PR46 Academy is gonna, you know, they got the inconsistency mostly, I think, because of Morbidelli and stuff like that, just making bad mistakes. We talked about it last week. They must have listened to the show and, you know, came out and said, "Yo, it's over. Don't do this. Don't do anything else, man, because you know you might not be here next year." But your thoughts, Reese, on how they look?
I mean, they look good. I mean, Morbidelli looked a lot solid. I mean, he didn't cause any mistakes or running into the back of anybody and getting grid penalty or getting caught up to the steward office, like, you know, getting called to the principal's office. Say, hey, you need to come in here and talk to me. You know, so, I mean, it was kind of nice. But the only thing about what I say with Morbidelli, he's very, very, very inconsistent. It's like one day he's hot, one day he's not. And it's like back and forth. It's like almost like Vinales was. It's like, man, come on, just stay consistent. With Fabio and Aldeguer, I mean, Aldeguer is still, as a rookie, he's still showing some pace and some brilliancy. So, I mean, I look forward to see what he can do in the future. Fabio, I mean, I'm looking forward to see if he can actually pick it up because, he had a lot of times where he was hurt or he wasn't on the right bike. So, I mean, but now he's on the VR46. He has a 25 GP. So I look forward to see what he can do. Alex, I mean, he's doing what Alex does, just like another Marquez. I mean, he was solid in the race, solid in the sprint. So, I mean, he's the next in command as Marquez in the Marquez family.
When he's behind Mark, do you think he should just push a little bit harder?
I would say yes, but that's like, what they say, don't poke a sleeping bear. Let that bear lie or leave him alone. Like, you start poking Mark, he's just going to turn up and now you're going to crash. He's going to another level and you can't go to that level. You can't go to that upper room yet. You're not there yet.
And from what I hear, they do live together, right? So
you can't go to that room yet. Nah, that's beyond your limit. Leave that room alone. So I don't know. I don't think I would push Mark, man. I think I would kind of leave him alone.
I hear that. It sounds like it. It sounds like a Michael Jordan thing. Don't look at him. Don't say nothing to him. Just keep going. Louis,
sleeping bear, dude.
No doubt. Louis, what are your thoughts? I mean, you talk about Morbidelli and his inconsistency. I mean, Valentino Rossi has to be yelling at him. He has to be saying something. It's like, yo, you're my boy, but come on, man. Like, we got to do something. I mean, it shouldn't have gotten to the point where it had to be the stewards have to talk to him versus, Rossi.
Yeah, I mean, it's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. He's inconsistent, but when he's consistent, he's always in the top 5.
Yeah.
So it's like, who else can say that they're always in the top 5? All he needs to find is that one missing piece where he just settles down and rides. And, I hate to say tones down his aggression because you need aggression in this sport. But his aggression is the one thing that always gets the best of him. He doesn't like to get passed. And when he gets passed, he likes to fight back right away, which is the way you're kind of taught. If you get passed, by the next corner, you want to try to already get by him. But he tries to get by him even though he can't get by them. He tries to squeeze a bike into a space the size that a credit card can barely fit in. And that's where he gets into these problems where he hits people. He crashes himself out. He crashes other people out. It's just dumb mistakes, man. And if he can get past that, I mean, the dude would be a perennial top 5 guy. Every race, I think every single race, he would finish in the top 5. He's got the talent. He's got the package. He just needs to take that deep breath when somebody passes him and be like, all right, let me set him up for a pass. Not, banzai, kamikaze on people. It can't be, win it or bin it. It's win it or accept the fact that you're going to be in 5th place. Make what you can do what you can, try your best to get that space back. But if that guy passed you, chances are that you're the one that's lagging. As far as the rest of the riders, I mean, the Gian Antonio, again, he does really great in the sprints because they're short races. But over a long distance race, he can't seem to put it together lap after lap, or he only comes on at the very end. But he comes on at the very end when he's 17 seconds behind the lead. So I made up 5 spots on, in the last 6 laps. So I finished 8th instead of 13th. Like, come on, man. Like, it's both riders have this weird inconsistency. And, I don't know how you train it out of them. I don't know, but again, these are mental things that you really can't train. You've already trained. You know how to ride a bike. You know how to go fast. You know how to take corners. You know how to hit now you just need to work on your mental game.
Right.
And then the other one is Aldeguer. Aldeguer is definitely going to win Rookie of the Year. Nobody's got anything to be, close to him.
No, yeah.
Aldeguer is actually hoping for a reverse sprint race where the bikes start with the tires already half used and half the fuel, and my man will probably win the race because he starts with fresh tires, He lags, and then we get to the halfway point when the tires drop. All of a sudden, my man starts going fast.
Right.
It's like, yo, where are you for the? Like, I think that they set up his bike so much to work good on used tires and low fuel that it actually makes it hard for him to ride the bike on new tires with a full fuel load. And they need to find that perfect balance, man.
He's like, I want the Marquez setup.
Yeah, I want the Marquez setup. When the bike's supposed to be shit, that's when I want to go fast. But when the bike's supposed to be fast, I want it to be unrideable. And I mean, the kid is talented. You know, I hope that Grassini can keep him. I don't see him staying on a satellite team for very long. You know, I definitely see within, you know, next year's the last year's deal. He's either going to end up on a factory Ducati bike, or whether he's on the Grassini team or not, he'll be on a factory bike, or he'll move to another factory. You know, whether it's Yamaha or whether it's Honda, like this kid is too talented to stay where he's at. I honestly believe at this point right now, even though he's not in the greatest package, I think he's actually doing better than Acosta did with KTM on a consistent basis. And now you have Acosta on a factory bike, and obviously they're not paying the bills because they losing chains and things are falling off and bikes aren't you know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you know, we say satellite teams, but they are factory bikes. It's just a year old. It's not the same like satellite, you know, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, where the parts had different serial numbers on them.
Are they really getting the parts?
A year-old bike, you might be getting year-old parts too, you know.
Yeah, I mean, on a Ducati, that's not bad, right? Because the 24 bike seems to be a little bit better than the 25, as we see with Alex and how well Alex is doing, right? Because we didn't think Alex was going to do as well as he's doing coming from a 23 to a 24, but we see that jump that he got this year on the bike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he definitely is putting forward the most consistent push. So if you look at him, the Gian Antonio, Morbidelli, and Aldeguer, of the guys not on factory bikes, he is the guy that's the most consistent. But again, a lot of that I think is also his mental game is at the strongest of anybody that's in the top, you know, 4 Ducatis that aren't factory bikes. You know, I think mentally he's the strongest guy. On any given day, I think Morbidelli and the Gian Antonio are as fast, if not faster, than Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Alex just has the mental game or the mental part of it down right. Like he's going into every weekend with the right attitude. He's going there every weekend, relaxed, but knowing that he definitely has an opportunity to win. And if you don't go into every weekend thinking you can win, you already lost. Like you got to go into every weekend like, yeah, I know my brother's the fastest guy that's on a motorcycle right now, but I can beat him. I know I can beat him. On any given Sunday, I could beat him. And that's what you need. You need that, you know, I don't care what he's riding. I know I could beat him. Talent-wise, he's not more talented than me. Equipment-wise, we're on very similar equipment. So it's really going to come down to who's going to out-talent the other rider this weekend. And he's done it twice, man. He's beat his brother twice. So
yeah. No doubt there. Let's talk about KTM. You brought it up a little bit. They were praising them a week ago. Now it's just kind of like I think I don't want to throw too much shade on the engineers, but did they party too much last weekend and didn't quite catch up? Should somebody get fired for what happened? Is it just, riders crash and the bike's in good shape and the riders still have their jobs. So I guess getting fired is out of the question. But, at this level, and we know chains pop. We've seen it happen to Maverick and these other guys and stuff like that. But to have 2 different bikes on the same weekend with the same issue, it does cut into their stock just a little bit. What are your thoughts, TJ?
Shit.
Yeah, it's like they say, it's all good just a week ago. I think for what KTM's been through, and then for last round, for them to get so much glory for what they were doing with 3 of their bikes riding together and competing and just getting a lot of shine and actually finishing well. I think they just got too much glory. I don't know. Somebody did something wrong. Somebody's sabotaging or something, but it's just kind of far-fetched to see I can see if a chain of different manufacturers pop and oh, it's a weird weekend, but 2 of their bikes to happen in the same weekend. Somebody didn't tighten something right, or they used something wrong. But yeah,
Yeah. Reese,
not
what do you?
only that, but you know, they didn't finish well.
Yeah.
Maverick didn't finish well. Brad Binder. So they had a horrible weekend, very horrible weekend compared to last week. So
Right. Reese, what are your thoughts? You're in the paddock. What are your thoughts, on Acosta giving the bike the finger after that and stuff like that? Looked like he almost wanted to kick the daggone thing too. Is that a bad look from the team to him when he does something like that? Oh, to the team from him, I should say.
Uh,
Or it's just
yes,
heat of the moment.
it could be the heat of the moment, but it still looks bad. I mean, it's like something. It's just you're popping chains. I know riders crash and things happen, and but it's like normally like us, you look over the whole entire bike. You especially whatever side that it went down on. You're taking a look at everything. If you got to replace something, replace it. You know, certain many miles, chain gets replaced. Um, I don't know what the heck happened, but it's like two bikes popping chains, and it's like, did you not tighten your master link? Did you like? I'm confused. Like something just doesn't seem right for two chains to pop. On two different bikes. That just doesn't make any sense at that level.
Right.
I
Is there an
mean,
investigation going on, or just a normal investigation that you do? Do you get the whole everybody together and talk about, trying to be stronger, better? I don't know. I don't know how you fix something as I don't want to say simple as this because, engine blowing up, other things happening. There's so many other bigger things to worry about. Is it something that is such a small thing that sometimes you might overlook it?
nah, you ain't gonna overlook that because everybody normally you're going step by step. You got a front guy, you got a rear guy. Everybody's looking at certain things, and it's you know I'm gonna look over your work, you're gonna look over my work. It's always like 2 to 3 eyes sets on it, like going back over it just to double check it. And no, it just doesn't make any sense. Somebody's gonna get, I don't know if somebody's gonna get fired. I would not say, but somebody's gonna get less of a paycheck. It's gonna be a deduction somewhere. Like, yeah, you gotta get a deduction for this one because it doesn't make any sense for two chains. Like you said, I can see if it was one, and all these guys are like space engine. They're high class engineers. They're making stuff out of everything. So you can't tell me you didn't check this chain out. Like that just doesn't make any sense. Something's wrong here. Somebody missed something.
All right, Mr. Numbers Guy, what do you got on KTM? And you're in the back office, and you just got this money in and everything. You're sitting here ready to order your yacht and all this stuff, and now this happened. Like, do you spill your coffee? What happened? Got to take the mute off.
You gotta take the mute off.
If I'm working at KTM, I'm not ordering a yacht because I'm broke.
Well, you can order a yacht. You just might rent it.
I sold all my stock before it went in the toilet. No, I turn around and be like, look, I know we're cutting corners, but let's stop buying chains off Temu because they don't work. Let's go back to buying good chains and good master links.
He bought it off of eBay.
Because buying them on Temu is not working out for us, guys. Come on, let's work as a team here. I don't know who gets fired, man. I mean, that's definitely something that as a team you have to find the cause of that error because you can't have that error. At this level, you can't have that error. This is you can blow motors, you can have other issues. And we spoke before the show, all bikes have a schedule. And the schedule is how many miles or kilometers before we do this, and this. And, a lot of these bikes, the chains will run for a certain amount of miles, but the chains will get checked in between every session. They'll rotate the tire. They'll make sure there's not any bent or damaged links. Like this is what Reese was talking about. Everybody checks everybody's work. So for two bikes to have the same issue in the same weekend, and I'm positive there's more than one set of eyes that looked over that chain. What's the issue here, man? Is it a manufacturing issue from the chain supplier? Or, were they using the same maybe chain rivet tool that wasn't working properly? So it looks like it riveted correctly. I don't know, man. There's so many things. People overlook a chain and and it has, one master link and one rivet, and that's it. Yeah, it is, but there's a lot of nuances to making sure that the chain is right, making sure the rivet is tight, making sure this is worked, that there aren't any kinks when you put a rivet, making sure the chain flows properly, making sure the sprockets are right, making sure there's not damage to the sprocket that could damage the chain. But this is why you have a team of guys. This is why you have more than just one mechanic. And for this to happen, I mean, this is probably KTM's worst looking weekend. Not just the way they performed on the track, but just look wise. This is the kind of thing that makes a team look amateur.
Right.
And this is a very, very amateur looking moment for them. Not only did they have only one rider finish and 3 riders DNF, you had 2 riders in the same weekend lose a chain. You had 1 rider that was in a position to possibly get on a podium to lose a chain. As far as Acosta, again, this is a emotion sport, so the emotions will get the best of you, and you will get pissed off, and whatever. But when the temperature cools down in the room, like, my man, that bike might have failed you, but that bike is also paying your check, and the company behind that bike is paying your salary, and you have to understand that if you flip off their bike, like, that's not a good look. That's the kind of thing that damages relationships, because that image now lives forever on our internet. If I want to make a meme about KTM sucks, I'll literally pull up the picture of their own rider in a KTM Red Bull suit giving the bike the finger. Like, this shit writes itself, man. You don't even need the rider for the show. Like, it writes itself. The memes create themselves.
So who has to apologize?
I think the team should apologize to him, and then in return, Pedro Acosta should apologize to KTM. I let the moment get a hold of me. I was in 4th place. I was trying to race to get into the podium position, and in the heat of the moment, I did that. But I absolutely respect the team. I absolutely respect the brand. I know you guys work just as hard as I work. We win and lose as a team. But I'm out there, I'm putting my life on the line. And for something like that to happen, obviously my emotions got the better of me. I apologize. That's professional way to do it.
Well,
Right.
The last time, something not necessarily chain happening, but unhappy rider, that rider ended up going to Aprilia next year. You think other teams were calling up Pedro like, hey, man, come this way?
No, I mean, what is there? There's on 1 ride left open, or 2 rides left?
2027.
I mean, again, he's a talented rider. If he's finishing strong enough and he's doing well enough on the KTM a year from now, there's going to be team knocking on his door. Certain level of talent, people will follow you. People will want to work with you. But, you have to have just that right balance of talent and being an asshole. And if the assholeness outweighs the talent, eventually nobody's going to want to work with you. Eventually, you're going to move from team to team to team to team. And then you're going to find out there's no teams left after this team. And no team wants you because all the teams that worked with you before have pretty much blackballed you. This is the Vinales effect. Where does Vinales go after KTM? Nowhere. Yamaha's not going to want him back.
He bought a bunch of stock, man. He's good.
His only chance after this, I think, is he goes to Honda. I think Honda's the only team that hasn't fired him.
Yeah, I think so. Speaking of Honda, let's jump right into it. I think it does on paper. It might not look like they had a good weekend, but I felt like Honda had a good weekend. What do you guys thoughts? We'll start with TJ.
Mayor went down, so that's a given every weekend. So, but overall, let's see. Luca Marini finished 7th. I feel like he's been doing a lot better. Second half of the season, he's finally found himself. So yeah, I think Honda's definitely improving slowly but surely. There's just a lot of still unfortunate situations like with Mir, and then sometimes Zarco giving his all going down. But I think going into next year, they'll have a higher expectation to where to be. Try to be better than Aprilia or Yamaha for sure. But I think they had overall a good weekend.
Yeah, I think if Mir didn't crash out, he would have had a good weekend. What are your thoughts, Reese, on where Honda is? Marini qualified 6th, only dropped 1 position in both races. So that's. I mean, obviously, it's always best to go forward, but at least he didn't have a Bagnaia. What are your thoughts?
No, I definitely say Honda had a good weekend. I mean, like I said, Mir crashing out. I mean, that's nothing really new. I mean, that's like a give and take. That's like Pekka being, back where he's at. But no, I mean, Luca Marini has really shown some talent on that bike. He's really pushed it up there to the forefront. Zarco is Zarco, and he's, unfortunately he crashed. But I think once next year comes, he gets a factory bike. I think he'll be up there in the top 5. So I think they're actually doing very well. They've actually figured out that bike. They're actually pushing forward. They're showing a lot more promising than my boys Yamaha, and I just feel as though they're going to come next year ready to play versus the boys in blue. I think they're going to come ready to play.
All right, we're gonna move on to that in a little bit. But what are your thoughts, Louis, on Honda? What Luca is doing? Really good job. And Zarco, yeah, it's tough, but it sounds like from what Zarco, of what I've seen on social media and stuff like that, seems like he's not getting the same parts, which is kind of weird. He's the only one that's won a race this year, and you think that just on GP they should just give him the same parts.
You would think so, but if it's not in your contract and it's not something they have to do, it's not something they will do. It's a business. It's show business, not show friends. So you get what you contractually are obligated to get. You can ask for extra, but if they don't want to give it to you, you can't really complain.
Right.
For me, I think everybody at all the riders at Honda need to go crash at Suzuka and come back as good as Marini, because Marini, ever since his crash in Suzuka, is a whole new rider. Like, he's riding on a different level. He's now, I think this is his 5th top 10 finish in a row.
Yeah,
which is amazing. Considering Rins is technically the number 1 rider at Honda, and he's either in the crash truck or maybe in the top 10.
Mir, you mean?
I mean, me. But yeah, Rins is always in the crash truck. Sorry about that. But yeah, Marini is doing great, man. This is, like I said, 5 top 10s in a row almost for him, which is amazing considering where he came from. A lot of people are saying the injury might have cost him the second half of the season, and he actually came back stronger. Whatever he did during that break, all the Honda riders need to go do that. Do that same thing that he did during his break, and then come back and ride again, because either he got rejuvenated, he was in the Lazarus pits, the DC Comics thing, got a new life. But it's great to see Honda up there. And I said this in the last show or a couple of shows again, going into next year, I really believe Honda is in a better position than Yamaha, because more of their riders are finishing consistently closer to the top. And today they had their first big test on the V4, and the feedback that has been getting posted online hasn't been very positive. Like, Quartararo posted something like it's actually a step back from the inline 4, which is difficult to believe, but Quartararo is the fastest guy in an inline 4, and if he says that it's a step back from the inline 4, I mean, maybe that's just him motivating Yamaha to develop the motor more and to get it to where he wants it. But I believe he was about 1.25 seconds slower than his fastest time on the inline 4.
Was he wearing his pearl necklace?
No, he wasn't. So that might also account for the extra 0.5 second faster. Pearls make you fly, man. Pearls make you fly.
Make something happen. But yeah, let's talk about Yamaha a little bit more. And I'll say this, and Reese, you're the professional and all this. A new engine, a different characteristic than they've ever done in Yamaha and stuff like that. If the test was 2 weeks from today, or enough time, do you think Quartararo would have had the same statement on social media? Because it's going to feel different. The revs are going to be different. He just needs time to just get adjusted?
Not really. I mean, I think they adjust. Those riders kind of adjust very fast to their situation. Normally they can adjust. They can figure it out. They can feel this difference. I mean, our guys can jump on something different and feel the difference. Like, quick, fast, and hurry. They can feel different between tires. Like, all right. So I don't know what the whole scenario is. I mean, it's something like Lewis said. I saw it today. There was something saying Quartararo saying that it feels worse. I don't know if that was something that he said or was it a post or whatever. I'm like, all right, maybe it's not. But I mean, if it is, it's not a good look. It's really not a good look if it is. I mean, I know it's a stepping stone and it's just a start, but I mean, you still have time to figure it out and get more into it. But I mean, look, man, the clock's ticking. You're gonna lose your rider.
We've seen in the past riders switch manufacturers, and it takes them a whole season to get up to speed. I know you say these guys get quick, fast, in a hurry, but sometimes we see Bastianini where he's at today versus when he first started on the KTM. Same thing with Maverick and stuff like that. So I mean, do you think that? We hope that he didn't say it, but if he did say it, do you think that's again something that needs to be said because you still need a little bit of adjustment.
You do, but then that comes down to the two parties working together. From the rider telling the crew chief, and then the crew chief actually implemented to the team to fix it. Because if the rider can't talk to the crew chief and tell him what he was wrong, the crew chief can't fix it. If the crew chief is an idiot and the rider's telling you this and not going to do it, it's like one hand washes the other hand. So it's like the rider's got to learn how to talk to the crew chief and explain what is exactly going on. And now it's like, I got to figure this out on what's going on.
Okay. Lewis, what are your thoughts, man? Okay, TJ, go ahead, jump in.
Oh, I mean,
you had something.
I know everybody's excited to see this V4.
I am,
and it's a big change. I think
I can't wait to see the.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for it's ready for us to ride. I'll let them get the kicks out the way now. But I feel like everyone wants results right away, and I don't think just one test is you're gonna see so much improvement, and it's also a different engine. So Fabio is definitely the one to dial it in, I'm sure. So I just can't wait to see a couple more tests on to see what it can do. But I don't know. I just can't wait. But I was gonna ask the lap times that they're doing now on it, like obviously there's room for improvement. So for Fabio saying that it's slower or feels slower, does that really matter at this stage? Like what do you really want to see or feel when you go out there and test this at this time? Knowing that he busted his ass and pulled out a 137. And then this V4 I think did like a 139 or 38 or something like that. So I mean,
you do know that the inline. You do know the inline 4 makes more power than the V4, right?
What you talking about, Willis?
But
what?
I'm just saying, like, what do they really expect it to be faster at this point going out there? So I just can't wait for them to like dial it in and tune it a little better. So.
I would send a retort to that from Fabio that would say, you guys been developing this bike for about 17 goddamn years now. You telling me you can't come with a better engine? That's as Quartararo, that's what I would say. Like, I've been waiting for this engine since like 2020. And now you guys come with this engine and it still can't even beat the engine I'm on now. How it's going to beat Ducati that's been making this V4 for years now. And they're just going to kick our asses even worse. Like, why are we going backwards? Like, you guys should bring me an engine today that's going to blow my pants off. Not give me an engine, be like, hey, you're going to have to work on this to get it to where my current ship box is at. So I got to go ship box backwards to get to ship box current before I get to ship box forward. Come on.
Hey,
is it just engine and chassis not changed a little? Nothing. Is it literally just they just took the engine and just put in the same chassis?
No, if you look at the dimensions of the bike, they definitely made some changes to the bike to be able to fit the engine. But even then, I mean, this is things that engineers know how to do and how to still get the same dynamics out of the bike. And Reese will tell you, these guys will show up with an engine that is reinforced so it can hold the stresses of the torsion of the motor. It will show up with a reinforced steering column, a fully adjustable steering head, multiple positions for the swing arm. Like, they just don't show up with a motor and stick it in the old frame and be like, yo, go ride. Like, there's a lot of other development that goes around the bike. But the core of this is the engine. Like, they've been asking for an engine that can compete with the Ducatis and the Aprilias and everybody else that's on the V4s, that's outpowering them down the straightaways, because they get more drive out of the corners, because that's the dynamic of a twin type of engine, is you get more low end torque. So you can get that bounce out of the corner, and that helps you reach that higher top speed, because you got that initial bounce instead of like a inline four, which might not get that initial bounce. It has more top end. But what good is the top end if the bike's already 10 bike lanes in front of me when it's time to get to the braking zone? Like, that's the dynamic they're trying to get to. So if he's saying it's worse than what I have now, if that's a true statement, maybe that's just Quartararo trying to push Yamaha to make it even better. Bring me something even better. Like, I need to be competitive today. I can't keep riding at 10 plus just to try to finish in sixth place.
And how much of that is any of that fall back on the test riders they have? I mean, granted, Cal Crutchlow is out of Yamaha now. But we got Fernandez as a test rider. He has less experience in MotoGP than all the Yamaha guys. Is any of that fall on those guys to say, hey, y'all didn't see something, or is it all on Yamaha Corp?
It's probably a combination. I don't think it's only on the test riders. I think it's a combination, because the test riders are test riders because they're not MotoGP champions. They're not perennial at the front winners. They retire and they become test riders, or they can't find a career in GP or World Superbike and they become test rider. I mean, Stefan Bradl was the Honda test rider for years, and he's a very competent rider. He's a top level rider. He never really was the fastest guy in MotoGP, but he could tell you what it takes to be that fast. And then that last 5-10%, the fast guys have to develop that last 5-10%. So I'm sure that they got plenty of data from whoever their test riders are, and we'll see who their new test rider is going to be now that Kyle Crutchlow is out. But
Dovey.
Oh, is it? I mean, Dovey knows how to win. Dovey knows how to go fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he's going to not know how to go fast, and he can give them a lot of data of what they did also at Ducati. But again, they just got to bring the package up to speed. They got to find that extra 5-10%, whatever it's going to take. You can't give a top rider a worse package. You got to give him something at least close to where he's at that he can move forward with.
Anyone else want to add anything to the new Yamaha V4?
I think it's the track. Think it's at Mugello or something different.
Yeah, but you got to race at every track.
Yeah,
you're gonna make a motor that's only good at one track.
I'm saying it's a test. They're just, I feel like, it's,
no, but this is the perfect time to have a test. The reason you have a test right after a race weekend is you have all the data from the race weekend, and then you can go out there and try these new parts and see how they change the data that's coming back. So they just raced the entire weekend on the inline four. They know what they can do on the inline four. They put the V4 out there, and when they compare the data side to side, you can literally see how much better or worse the inline four is in the different areas. Like, you can go corner by corner and see, hey, the V4 was actually a 10th faster here, but it was a quarter second slower here, or it was this here. And then you see the consistency lap after lap. Is this just that one lap this rider didn't judge the corner correctly, so he's a 10th of a second faster or slower? And then you overlay both data. I mean, there's a lot of numbers crunching behind this. And you try to find what would be the perfect lap on the V4, what would be the perfect lap on the inline 4, and let's find where the differences are and see what we can do now. Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's develop this a little bit more. Let's figure out where we're weak and try to get it up and beyond what the inline 4 is.
Yeah, they're going to have to. There ain't no going back. I mean, the inline 4 is pretty much maxed out, so this is their saving grace, right? So they're going to have to develop it now, because the test didn't really show much.
Yeah, but and Reese will tell you, like Reese, you'll be the best guy for this. But when you develop a motor like that, you spending millions. You're not spending tens of thousands. This ain't a super sport motor in Motor America. It's like 18 grand. This is millions of dollars you're spending. And are you spending it just to go racing, or do you hope to one day sell that motor? Because remember, Ducati and Aprilia sell V4s.
Yeah.
Honda,
Right.
Yamaha does not sell V4s.
Because I hear Cowie's trying to make a new motor from what someone told me this weekend, but the problem is it's costing them $2.5 million to make a new motor because, you know, everything is lighter weight, the new crankshaft, the rods, everything is lightweight now, so it's too heavy. So they're trying to figure out one, but it's going to cost them so much money.
Yep.
So, Reese, you're not looking forward to the V4 trickling down to the R1?
I mean, give me an inline four.
It'll be a little skinnier, you know?
I mean, yeah, be a little hotter too. Be a lot hotter, your balls.
Just the Ducati.
I mean,
The Honda V4s don't get hot, man. I had one. They don't get hot.
I mean, but if you can redesign an inline four, you can redesign an inline four and make it have more power than that V4.
Right. So what's the problem with Yamaha then in MotoGP?
Well, I mean, that motor is just there. It's over. It's like the 70s. It just don't have it. You got to figure that out. But like Lewis said, I mean, it's just literally like with the V4, you have so much torque at the bottom, and it delivers the power smoothly and higher than the inline four. The inline four is top end, but like you said, if you're already 12 places behind, by the time I try to catch up to you, what the hell am I doing? I'm not going to make it. I'm missing that level. So you can make more power out of inline four, but the way the V4 delivers its power, that's where we're at. It delivers its power different.
Yeah. To go to Motor America race 1 and race 2 with Cam on the BMW, they made the bike a little bit slower and he went a little bit faster.
You can see it coming down the back straightaway. But Cam is on, BMW's an inline four, right. But you can see the power difference, and you can see the power difference with Josh. You can see the power difference. It's there. I mean, I think the top speed was 197. Have we clocked that?
Yeah, something like that. Not bad. Let's talk about Motegi before we get out of here. Is it kind of status quo, Marquez, is it safe to say he's going to win the championship in Motegi, or is possible it could even be stretched out a little bit longer?
No, it's over.
It's over.
He did kind of say in the press conference.
I think the attention is finally slightly on Alex to do good, for these last couple of rounds. And, he's been excited, and, you can see trying to have him bounce back a little bit, but, there's nothing else can do. It's over.
It's over. So, I give it up.
Yeah, I don't see Alex winning the sprint and the race, and I don't see Mark crashing out of the sprint and the race. So short of those two scenarios, I don't think it'll go past Motegi. And I think this will be the 4th time or 5th time that Mark actually wins the championship at Motegi. Wow. But this will be the time that hurts Honda the most, because every other time he's been on a Honda, and this time at the Honda official home track, they get to see a guy in a Ducati winning at their home track, which I'm sure that's going to put a little fire under Honda's ass.
Yep, your old guy is out there whooping your ass.
Yep.
And last thing I guess is how should Alex look at this? Because I mean, this is his best season in MotoGP, so it is a win for him finishing. I mean, he still has to finish second, so we don't know. We got some rounds left, and I don't know. I don't have the points up in front of me, but it's possible. Anything can happen by the end of it. But it's a good year for Alex, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, unless Pekka gonna catch him.
Well, Bez is 11 points behind Pecco, so I think Bez is probably going to finish 3rd in the championship.
Well, that was a given. Pekka can't even finish a race.
Yeah, I think Alex is going to definitely I mean, he should be real happy. I think he's scored more points this year than he's ever scored in his life at this level.
Mm-hmm.
If he stays on track the way he's at right now, he might actually finish with 400 points, which, you know, in a couple of years ago, 400 points, you would have been MotoGP champion with 400 points.
Right.
So I think he should walk away, you know, with his head held high. I mean, the dude came out of nowhere. Nobody expected him to be in the positions he's in. Nobody expected him to do as well as he did this year. He's the one that's got nothing to lose because nobody expected this of him, you know. He's got zero pressure on him. He goes and rides. He does well, and everything's great. But I don't see the championship again going past this weekend unless it's a crazy freaky Fridays.
Wasn't it raining with Davi and Lorenzo on the Ducati and Mark out there?
It does. I will say this: it does rain pretty often at Motegi. So,
but I still don't doubt that Mark will throw it down a tube.
And even if he does, then he'll just win it the following event. I mean, he's just so far ahead. I mean, he's already broken the points scoring record.
Yeah.
With still 5 rounds to go. And I think somebody said this, that he has the opportunity to possibly exceed 600 points in a season, which would be like almost 100 points more than last year when Martin set the record at like 506 points or something like that.
507, I believe.
Yeah, so that's crazy, dude. Like 600 points. It's going I don't see that happening again for a long time. 600 is a lot of points, man. A lot of
witnessing greatness.
We are indeed. It's a beautiful thing to watch and see what's happening in MotoGP right now, what he's doing for sure. And you know, the rest of the field, you know, all they can do is just wake up and try to be better the next day. At least they know where the bar is, so or the corner bar, whichever one.
Tie.
No doubt. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on. TJ, Two Wheels and Coffee, the real Luis Ortega, the numbers guy, Reese from Attack Yamaha Performance. Right, drive safe, Reese. See you in Jersey. Make sure you get more than them 2 T-shirts from you know who.
He owed me a hoodie, T-shirts, a whole bunch, man.
I'll take one.
I'll bring what I got, man. I don't sell them myself.
Look, he's talking about bring what he got. That means he's only bringing 2.
More than 2. I just can't guarantee what's going to fit you.
All I need is an XL, man.
Italian XL is different than American XL. That's all.
Well, then I need a 2XL then. Give me a 2XL.
Oh, no doubt. Take it easy, fellas. Peace.
Peace.